It's true that Colin never saw Penelope as a potential love interest, but it is also true that Penelope never presented herself as such. And this is mainly due to insecurities that she has, insecurities that her family and the Ton imparted on her, because they never saw her as a worthy participant in the marriage mart. But with Colin in particular, Penelope and Colin have been friends since they were kids. They have known each other for years, and Colin is an incredibly important person in Penelope's life, as are all the Bridgertons, especially Eloise and Colin. And so as much as she definitely fears the rejection of Colin not wanting her if she were to put herself out there, she also doesn't want to lose the Bridgertons as a safe space for her. Because as Penelope tells Colin in season 3, the Bridgerton household is one of the only places she feels comfortable to be herself. And so as much as she does love Colin, she also loves the friendship more, and she loves having him in her life more. And so I think a big part of her not wanting to tell him and not wanting to put herself out there is because she doesn't want to lose him. But on another vein, Penelope doesn't really put herself out there at all. She doesn't really engage with the marriage mart. She sticks to the walls quite a bit and just wants to listen to gossip for obvious reasons. But she doesn't engage. She doesn't present herself as a love interest to anyone. And Colin is a romantic. He is unlike his brothers. He is not a rake. He does not want to just sleep with women devoid of emotion and pretend that nothing matters. He wants to have passionate love. He wants to have his one true soulmate. He wants to get married and have that beautiful romance. And when he meets Marina, he is immediately infatuated and immediately thinks that this is the person he's meant to be with, because he's such a romantic, he's confusing a crush with true love. But deep down, a part of Colin knows that something isn't right, because when Marina tries to seduce him, Colin doesn't actually want to kiss her. And it's partly out of respect, because he wants to treat her like the respectful lady that she is, and it's also because deep down, he doesn't want to kiss her. And in season 2, Colin doesn't have a love story subplot because he's not interested in it. He's not interested in something that isn't wholly romantic. That, and he's been incredibly burned by Marina and Marina's betrayal, and so he doesn't want to jump back in. But then we get to season 3, and Penelope has stopped talking to Colin, and Colin has immediately spiraled because he doesn't have her grounding anymore. He doesn't have someone who will listen to his stories, and so he spirals completely into something that he thinks society will like. And when he comes home, one of the first things he tries to do is mend his friendship with Penelope, because she is so important to him and because he so genuinely desperately missed her. But the dynamics have shifted, and it's Penelope's perspective changing that actually affects Colin more. Because though, yes, Colin has changed his entire personality, that's meaningless, and Penelope and his family immediately call him out on it. It doesn't mean anything, it just means that he's trying to people please even more. But Penelope's perspective changing is different, because Penelope means it. Because Penelope is presenting herself as an active participant in the marriage mart. She is presenting herself as a potential love interest. And you'll notice that the second that Penelope presents herself as a potential love interest, and even more so when she directs it at Colin, even if it's in practice, he is immediately interested. Because although it may seem that Colin suddenly having feelings for Penelope is completely out of the blue, it's not out of the blue. Because Colin has always loved Penelope and always cared for Penelope. But as much as Penelope never thought that Colin being a love interest for her was an option, she never presented herself as an option. He never knew that she could have been interested. He never knew that there was ever a possibility of that happening. But the moment he knew, he couldn't get her out of his mind. The moment he knew that what he was feeling was probably love, he immediately went to her and proposed, essentially. And while that might seem fast, it is also inevitable.